Hello, Fat Grandma here. It has been a minute since I did a solds video. I have some more footage in the car and in the garage that I was going to put this at the end of, but I decided just to do a solds video. There's 24 items, I believe, that I sold. It's been a little more than a month, so these sales are from the 9th of May through the 14th of June. So, you know, like 34, 35 days, something like that. Anyway, what is, okay, Simon's doing something. I gotta pause this for a second. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, I think I'm back. I don't know if this thing's, it's recording. Simon has a hair up his butt or something. He's running back and forth under the bed, making weird noises. So anyway, hopefully he doesn't knock anything over. Okay, back to the sales. I'm going to try to breeze through these so this doesn't take very long. It's going to be a short video. For the people who just like to see what I've sold, this will be perfect. If you want to watch something that's longer, I have some footage. I will be editing that hopefully over the next couple of days. I just uploaded a video. It's some of the footage that I have is from last weekend. I think one day last weekend and then 2 days. Anyway. Okay, so on to the solds, and I'm going to work my way back. So I'm starting with the most recent and going backward. The first item I sold was a vintage American Express corporate promo domino set in a wooden box. The tiles were still sealed. I believe I paid $1 for that at a yard sale. Sold for $12.15, and the buyer paid $6.80 in shipping. Let's see, the next item I sold was an art glass Christmas tree, clear with a green ribbon in the center. So it had like some, I don't know, it was weird how they did it. I took a picture of the bottom so people could see. There was like 4 places where they ran green dye or green glass. I don't know how they do that. Anyway, down into it. So when you turned the tree, you got glimpses of the green. It was kind of cool. Anyway, I paid $2 for that at a yard sale. Sold for $12.60, and the buyer paid $6.88 in shipping. The next item I sold was a sapphire blue 5-piece Russian nesting dolls, hand-painted floral. That's how I had them listed. I paid $8 for them on Facebook Marketplace. I should not have, but they sold for $17, so I still made some money. Buyer paid $17, and they paid $6.25 in shipping. Not quite double, but almost doubled my money, so yeah, it's not horrible. And I've got a sale going in my store, so everything that I sold is kind of, some of the prices are like weird amounts, and it's because I was marking, I had things on sale, or I sent out offers. Let's see, next item was a San Francisco Music Box Company pink porcelain rose. It was on a wooden base. You'll see photos up here in the corner of all this stuff if you haven't been here before. Anyway, it played the theme from the movie Somewhere in Time. It's the Paganini, I think, is who it is the composer. I'm not sure. Anyway, that music box I paid $2 for. Sold for $12.96, and shipping paid was $10.43. Let's see, the next item. I didn't do good on this either, and it was another Facebook Marketplace pickup. Raspberry ice sculptures, Snow Proud to Be an American, snowman figurine. It was cute, but I paid $5 for it, and it sold for $8, so I probably broke even after all the fees and stuff. Buyer paid $7.38 in shipping. The next item I sold was a vintage teal green Vermont Maple Orchards jug, Burlington, Vermont. It was about 5.5 inches tall. Really cute. Kind of farmhouse style, Anyway, I paid $1 for it, and it sold for $9.50, and the buyer paid $9.69 in shipping. It was heavy duty. It was, I think stoneware. I don't know. It was heavy though. Very well made. The next item I sold. Okay, these I've been dragging around for a while, and I was ready to give them away, donate, whatever. And anyway, they sold. It was a steer skull Western napkin rings, bone color ceramics. how I had them described. Set of 4. I paid $1 for them at a yard sale last summer, and they sold for $7.60. I ended up refunding the buyer the shipping that they paid of $7.68 because as I was packing them up and wrapping them in bubble wrap, I noticed where someone had, and I didn't even see it when I took the photos, someone had glued 2 of them back together. So I sent a message through eBay to the buyer and told them that I found hairline cracks where they'd been glued back together. I sent them some pictures and I said, please let me know if you want these, because I didn't feel like getting negative feedback, if they got them and there was extra damage that, and I had put in the listing because there was one that did have some damage that was kind of obvious, and but I didn't know about the other 2 that had, well, one of them was the one that had the, I don't know, there was stuff wrong with one of them, and I had pointed it out, but I didn't point out the other issue with it. Somebody dropped it, obviously, or dropped a couple of them. Anyway, long story short, I made no money on that sale, but it was still a sale. So next item I sold, and this was a recent pickup from a yard sale, was a nativity scene glitter globe, light up, continual motion, and it was Cracker Barrel. It was really different, and I put a video in the listing so that people could see how it worked. Didn't play any music or anything. It just the glitter swirled around and made some pretty colors on the back wall inside my photo box. Anyway, I paid $1 for it at a yard sale. If you guys have been watching my videos, you may have seen that one. Sold for $25.50, and I had sent out an offer. And the buyer paid $15.61 in shipping. That was a really good price on this item because there are a couple of others listed, and they were not. This one was brand new. No one ever used it, and you could tell. Anyway, the others were used, and some of them didn't have the box, but I did not want it sitting around, so I made it, the price was decent. As soon as someone watched it, I sent out an offer and they bought it. So good to have it gone. And I made a decent amount of profit on that one for sure. Like at least $20 after fees and stuff. The next item I sold was something I've had in my store for a long time. And I'm not sure I'm gonna just destroy this word when I try to say it. It was a small djembe. It's DJEMBE drum, hand carved, 8.5 inches by 4.75. It wasn't big. It had that was this plane surface. I put the plane surface measurements in because I discovered that's what everybody else is doing when they list them. So it had a crack in the base. It wasn't horrible, but it was you could see it, And so I put read in capitalized, in the title, and I paid $2 for it. It sold for $10.80, and the buyer paid $7.26 in shipping. They weren't very far away. It was a little bit heavy, but it wasn't huge, and so they weren't too far. Next item I sold was a unique lizard-handled stoneware pottery mug, earth tones, 2013 artist signed. It was almost 3 inches or almost 6 inches tall. I paid $5 for it, I believe, at a yard sale, and it sold for $12, and the buyer paid $6.82 in shipping. I had more questions on that stupid mug than I've had on any other items, I think, ever in the store. One person wanted to know how much liquid it would hold. And then somebody else asked if it could be put in the dishwasher. If they had read, they would have seen, if they'd really looked, you don't put things like that in the dishwasher or the microwave, common sense. Anyway, I kept getting questions about it. Finally, someone bought it, and I made sure they understood they could not do that with it, Anyway, it's gone. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I think I told you guys they paid $12 and $6.82 in shipping. Let's see. I'm glad someone bought it. I thought it was weird when I saw it, and that's why I picked it up. Joseph's next item. Joseph's Studio Peaceful Lion and Lamb Christmas Resin Ornament, and I paid about 50 cents for it. I think it was with some other stuff. Sold for $6.84. I do not do well with ornaments. I don't know why I keep picking them up. Cuckoo. Anyway, sold for $684, and the buyer paid $625 in shipping. It was a little bit heavy, but I think it was going further away. Let's see. The post office is really, you would, I looked at the totals because I usually don't pay attention to the total that the customers pay for an item. With all the fees and tax and shipping and all of that. And some of this stuff, like the nativity scene glitter globe, it cost the customer a total of almost $45 because of tax and fees and the shipping and. Anyway, and there are other things in here, like the lowest sale total was $11.77. I'll get to it. It was something really small too. Anyway, let's see. Next item. I'm out of sorts right now because an incident happened with some cars in the cul-de-sac, and I reported them because no one's supposed to park in the cul-de-sac, and the sheriff's department came and knocked on our door, and I'm like, excuse me, why are you knocking on our door? I'm the one that called. It's a whole, maybe I'll talk about it next time I'm driving. I don't want to talk about it right now. I got bent out of shape because they should not have knocked on our door. Anyway. Okay, next item. 2 handmade etched Nicaraguan pottery folk art vases. One was sea life and the other one was tribal designs. It was about $2 for both of them, and I bought them in Arizona. So they have been with me forever. They finally sold for $13.68, and shipping paid was $6.67. The person was close by and they weren't super heavy. So let's see. The next item I sold was a silver-plated pewter golf club cocktail forks in a golf bag. There were 6 forks, MCM, and it was a little bitty thing, but it was super cute. Anyway, I paid $1 for it at a yard sale, and it sold for $12.82, and $6.25 shipping is what the buyer paid. Let's see, the next item I sold, and this is the thing that ended up being $11.77 total, was a bobblehead bald eagle resin figurine. It was kind of a cartoon style. It was just a weird little oddball thing that I picked up. It was $1, and it sold for $4.50 because I marked it down. And the buyer paid $6.37 in shipping for this little thing, and I did not overcharge them. That's what it actually was for the shipping. So they paid $2 more for shipping than they did for the item. Hold on, I gotta pause this again. He's at it. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if the microphone's picking. He's talking. I think one of the cats from upstairs is at the bottom of the stairs, and he's talking to him through the door. Perfect timing. I'll be right back. Okay. He's on the bed now. I don't know what he was doing. He's talking up a storm at the door. Sometimes one of the cats comes down to the bottom of the stairs and they visit with each other, and I think that might have been what was going on. Anyway, let's see. The last thing I talked about was the cartoon style bobblehead bald eagle. I really wondered if that was going to sell. You just never know with eBay. Anyway, let's see. The next item was a Party Light Witch shoe, tea light candle holder, retired Halloween decor. I paid $2 for it at a yard sale, and it sold for $8.10. Buyer paid $7.42 in shipping. Next item, we're getting there. We're more than halfway done. Was a small handmade 3-footed solid brass cauldron, 3 1/8 inches by 3.75 inches. It was a little bitty thing. Jardinier handles. I paid $1 for it. Sold for $14.40, and shipping paid was $7.80. The next item I sold was a copper finish steel cowbell with clapper, 2 7/8 inches tall, and I recorded in my photo box me ringing the bell so that people could hear what it sounded like. So there was a video. I paid $3 for that. It sold for $9. and the buyer paid $6.37 in shipping. The next item I sold, and this one was a good sale. This one and the Cracker Barrel thing, the manger thing, were my two best sales, I believe. It was a Longaberger cornflower blue woven reflections vase, 8.25 inches tall. I paid $3 for it at a yard sale, and it sold for $24. Buyer paid $6.82 in shipping. That was a good sale for me. I mean, you know, right recently there haven't been very many of those where there's been a decent profit on something. Next item I sold was a house hippo figurine, 4 inches by 8.5, resting, sitting, dark green matte finish, and it was heavy. I mean, it felt like it was made from cement. I don't know. Anyway, I paid $1 for it, and it sold for $9, and the buyer paid $7.26 in shipping. I don't remember how much that thing weighed, but she got a little shipping. She must have been very close by. Oh, good. Now he's throwing his toys up in the air. He's so bored. I don't know what his deal is tonight. Anyway, next item was a 1990s Zorza Polish hand-blown art glass vase, vintage mottled amber tortoise shell. Is what I put in for the description. You'll see the photo of it up here. I bought this in Arizona, I think it was in Phoenix before I moved. Paid $3 for it at, I believe, a Goodwill. I just thought it was weird. This is another one that wasn't a bad sale. Anyway, I paid $3, and it sold for $20. And they paid $7.56 in shipping. It was heavy. It was very thick glass. Now, the story behind this is it has been in and out of my store at least 3 times. I had pulled it, and I was going to put it in the yard sale box or donate it, one of the two. And I just was like, I'm going to try it one more time. And I listed it. Oh, I did a Google Lens because I never found another one like it when I listed it the other 1 or 2 times that it had been in my store. I had another one show up, so then I knew what it was. And because theirs still had the sticker on it, some glass stuff will have stickers for the maker. Mine did not have a sticker, but it was exactly like this other one. I mean, not identical because it's hand blown, but very, you could tell it was the same maker. Anyway, then I found a couple more of them because then I had the brand name and I could see what it was worth. And so I priced it, I put a good price on it. Anyway, from $3 to $20. So that was a pretty good sale. And $7.56 in shipping. I think I told you guys that. But, I've had stuff that I have put back in my store again after I have delisted it and just left it out for a few months. And then it sells the second time I list it or the third time, It just, you never know who's going to stumble onto things. Next item was a four in the set, a set of 4 ribbed footed vintage soda fountain float glasses. Clear glass, very plain, 8 inches tall. These were in a box of glassware that I got from an estate sale that I had in an auction. It was an auction estate sale. I went to pick the stuff up. Everybody was going into the house to get their stuff, and it just was like 4 shelves of random crap. And I happened to win it for practically nothing. These, I've already made my money back on it. I don't even know what these cost me. So someone paid $16 for them and $10.52 in shipping. And I got positive feedback already. So that was good. And they were just riding around in my car, banging around. I'm surprised they never cracked or got broken. Anyway, and I'm glad I listed them, The next item I sold was a Francoma Pottery mini ball creamer, prairie green, Sepulpa clay. I paid $3 for it. It sold for $12.60, and the buyer paid $6.98 in shipping. I have not sold either of those large Francoma pottery things that I have in my store, and I'm very irritated with myself that I paid as much as I did for them, but that's a story for another time. Let's see. The next items I sold were 5 Anchor Hawking Spring Song Daisy Amber 18-ounce glasses, MCM. These were also sitting in that tote in my car with all the glassware. So they didn't, there's no, I don't know what they didn't cost me anything because I've already made my money back. Sold those for $19.80, and the buyer paid $10.65 in shipping. He's at the door again. I took the flashlight because I thought maybe he found a bug. No, there's nothing. He's just sticking his arm under the door. Weirdo. Anyway, okay, the last item, and this was a viewer. Thank you, Gina. Was tree owls on a branch with flowers, 1983 miniature, hand painted figurine, 2.75 inches tall. It was a Nisco. I paid around $1.50 for it. I have no idea where I got this. It came from Arizona, and it was very tiny, so it was easy to bring here. Sold for $8, and shipping paid was $6.95. Let's see, my total sales for a little over a month, and this is with all of eBay's, with my shipping and everything included. Everything total was $519.18. Let's see, my cost of goods was $50 for all of the things that I sold, or right around 50. Let's see, the eBay fees, I'm breaking it down now. eBay fees were $73.14. Taxes that were taken out were $31.52 for taxes for the buyers, or that they paid. So that's taken out of my total. Was $31.52. Shipping that the buyers paid was $180.99, so $181, and shipping I paid was $168.73. So I made about $11 on the shipping. I made about $11 on the shipping. It's pretty close actually, but it covers some of it because I'm not adding my shipping. I'm not adding my handling fee in anymore. So that helps a little bit with like the boxes and bubble wrap and stuff. Let's see. When I pull my money out, I have to put it into a different account than the one that, if I want it fast, I put it into a different account, and they charge me $2 every time I pull money out. So I paid, let's see, what did I pay? $18 in payout fees. I don't leave money in there for very long. Once it gets up over like $30, I'm pulling it out. And sometimes I didn't wait that long. Anyway, after all of the fees and all the cost of goods and, all of the shipping and everything else, my net for a little over a month was $177. That seems high to me. It's usually, I don't know if something's wrong with my math. If I figure out something, I'll let you guys know on the screen, like if you see some other calculations over here, but I did it twice, and I kept coming up with the same numbers. So, and that's not taking into consideration all the gas, then that's not cheap now, that I have used in my car over the past month. And that I've had to put in. So there's gas, there's boxes, there's, and the little padding on the shipping helps cover some of it, but it doesn't cover all of it. So, but for a month, that's not bad for me. I mean, that's pretty good for me considering how things have been. So, not horrible. I have no cushion though now because I have gone to yard sales and an estate sale recently. That'll be in another video. Not the footage from the estate sale. I don't wear my camera anymore. People get weird about it. I don't know how other people can go out and wear their cameras and not have people like not want you to use your camera, Anyway, so I haven't been wearing it, but I show you guys everything when I get home and dig it all out in the garage. I know it's boring, but it's the only way I can really do it, unless I sit in the car and show you, which I do every once in a while if it's not too hot. Anyway, I'm going to shut this off, shut it down. It's less than half an hour. Yay. I know it's short, and I've been babbling like a lunatic. I'm out of sorts. My brain got all messed up because of the situation with the... I'll talk about it when I drive next time. Anyway, so watch for that. It's not really that big of a deal. It's just frustrating, and I don't know. I don't want to go into it. Okay. I hope you guys have a good week. I'm going to try and get this edited and put together so that I can get it uploaded over the next, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I'll get extra energy or something, light a fire under my butt. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good week. And thanks for watching, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye.